etc. Opened up, so all your lunches are free on Joe Hobbs today, so that's big with the anniversary. Wait, Joe, come back. Joe. 5 years, so happy anniversary to the Jackson location, wings, etc. It is the 5th anniversary, outstanding, and we are happy to have this show, which the other significant point is it's our final basketball coaches show of 2018. We'll take a 2-week hiatus, and then we'll get into the spring coaches shows. Baseball coach Andy Sawyers will be talking softball. We'll be talking all the spring sports, and that will be in 2 weeks. I believe that is the 5th of March, and that is going to be over in Cape Girardeau. So that will be our next coaches show, March 5th, and it will be in Cape Girardeau. And we want to remind you that at Wings, they've got a lot more than their award-winning jumbo wings, which, by the way, on Mondays are 69 cents. Their menu includes their freshly made burgers, and they've got a lot of different burgers on the menu here at Wings. You can come 4 or 5 times and not have to even eat the same menu or the same freshly made burger twice. They have wraps, they have subs, quesadillas, entree salads, smoked ribs. Their appetizer lineup includes their ultimate nachos and their deep-fried pickle spears. And their daily half-pound lunch specials start at just $6.49. That's $6.49 for their daily half-pound lunch specials. And again, we're in the Jackson location. Come on by. It was a late arriving crowd here. I'm going to say at like 10 minutes before noon. It was just me and Dean and Joe, and now we've got a nice little group of Red Hawk fans who are here enjoying wings, etc., including the Red Hawks head coach, Rick Ray, who, 4-game winning streak that you're riding right now. What do you think has been the biggest turnaround? Because I remember sitting and talking to you after you had lost 4 games in a row, and you were like, man, we got to get through to these guys. There's a point in the second half of a game where it looks like they don't believe anymore that they're going to be able to come back and win the game, and then all of a sudden, boom, 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 4 consecutive wins. What changed?
Well, I think it's a lot of things. For us, I think the number one thing was our body language and the way we represented ourselves and the way we represented ourselves to our teammates. And we just started showing our guys clips of, like, when they didn't think they should have got a pass, or somebody else made a turnover, or somebody else made a defensive mistake. You know, we spent more energy, instead of defending or moving on to the next play, we spent more energy complaining about what just happened with our bad body language. And it's a lot of times of that on offense, it turned into offensive transition for the other team because we're sitting there dropping our head or spinning around or being demonstrative in a negative way instead of doing something as far as like moving the ball and getting back and getting to your responsibility. So I think that was our number one thing, and it was really, if you could tell from the guys, it was embarrassing. They were embarrassed by like the way they looked on TV, the way they looked, on the screen because of their negative body language. The other part of it, we started talking about like fault and responsibility. There's a lot of clips going around now on YouTube and social media with Will Smith, talking about fault and responsibility. Right. And, what we're trying to get into our guys is that it doesn't matter whose fault it was. If we turned the ball over, it doesn't matter whose fault it was, but it's our responsibility to get back on defense and prevent it from a next mistake. So we've been doing a lot of team bonding things, a lot of one-on-one things, trying to make sure our guys connect with each other, because I just felt we were like separated. We didn't have a team. And I thought when things started going bad, everybody started going their own separate ways instead of us coming together. So I think that's one part of it, and I think that's helped us defensively. I think it's helped us offensively. I think that now we're trying to out there playing for each other rather than playing for ourselves. And, when you're in a situation like we are where you don't have that carrot of being able to play postseason basketball, guys got to care about each other, because if they don't care about each other, then we have nothing to play for. So I'm just really pleased with that. And it's been hard for me, to be honest with you, Eric, because I'm a left-brain guy. I'm just like, hey, just do what you're supposed to do. I don't understand that. I don't understand like how you just don't do what you're supposed to do. But not everybody is that way, and so I've been trying to reach guys that are not that way and try to get them to understand like how important it is for you to develop as a person, even though, we don't have that postseason opportunity. But you need to make sure you take this opportunity in order to grow as a basketball player, grow as a person, so that we can be good next season. Because, A lot of these guys don't understand this is still a tryout. Because right now we have some situation where guys complain about playing time. We've got 8 or 9 guys. And my question to them is, what are you going to do when we have 15? So like right now, you should take advantage of this opportunity and be really pleased and happy with the playing time that you're getting, because next year it's not promised. Next year I'll have more of an opportunity if you're doing something that I don't like or I don't think helps the team or represents the team, bring you out for long periods of time. Right now, they're going to go back in. We got 8 guys.
Right.
They're going to go back in. But just trying to reach guys and make sure they understand the big picture and getting outside of themselves and starting to care about each other and the team.
How concerned were you, though, after it was a 4th straight loss, February 3rd at home against Austin Peay, 96-81. I think that was that tied the most points Austin Peay had scored against. I don't remember, but that was a lot of points that Austin Peay scored. And you could tell you were searching for trying to figure out ways to, right the ship here, because not only had you lost 4 in a row, but there's no chance of going to the postseason tournament. So, it very easily could have gone in another direction, man. You should be commended, you and your coaching staff, for getting these guys to buy back in, and there has certainly been terrific buy-in. Would you agree?
Yeah, and I think if you want to commend somebody, you got to commend the guys more than us, because I told them I'm never going to give up finding ways to try to reach you and finding ways to try to, get you guys to become better persons and better people and better basketball players, because that's my job. But they got to make sure that they're receiving the message. And so they're receiving the message. And the thing that the losses, we all want to win. There's no question about it. But it's the manner in which we were losing. I thought we were getting out-toughed. I use the terminology. I thought we were getting punked out. I didn't think that we were like rising up to challenges, physically, mentally. I thought those were things. I didn't think our offense was a problem. I thought we had some self-interest in us in the offensive end. But more than anything, it was just the way that we compete. And so, we talk about 3 things all the time that we want to do when we go out and play is play harder, play tougher, play smarter. And I didn't think we were doing either of those 3 things, but we were really, really suffering in the play tougher part. I just didn't think I thought other teams, especially Austin Peay, with the way they're going to challenge you. When you get ready to play Austin Peay, you can do X's and O's and things like that, but at the end of the day, it's going to be a physical warfare. And I thought that we didn't live up to that challenge.
Does Jacksonville fall into that category too?
Yeah, Jacksonville State, Tennessee State, those are the teams that are physically imposing team, and you got to make sure that you go out ready to compete, and it's going to be a physical brand of basketball. And if you're not ready to go out and play against the Jackson, and not only that, they have that length and that physicality along with the way they play. So, those are the teams that concern you, because you know that you're going to have to rebound. You're going to have to be tough in order to have a chance to win that game.
I know Tennessee State had a really good year last year. I know you like their head coach. You beat them fairly handily at the Show Me Center, and it looked like, boy, maybe it's going to be a down year for Tennessee State. Suddenly they have surged. Surprise you how good they have turned out to be?
No, because, Dana's a good coach, and me and Dana, we talk. We share some ideas about, what we're trying to do. And for him, he talked to me, quite frankly, about this is the first time he's coached a team that's struggling, because he knew when he first got the job it was going to be a struggle. So then they started having success. And now this year they weren't having that success, and he was like, I'm trying to figure out how to reach my guys. He says it's a generation gap, and I said, Dana, you don't get a chance to talk about generation gap. You're about 20 years, younger than me. So, he's done a great job. I think they won 7 in a row before they lost the game against Eastern Kentucky. So, he's done a great job. He's a good young coach, and he continues to go out and recruit guys that he thinks is going to help his team as far as the physicality and the length that they have on that team.
So right now it's Murray State and Belmont, 14-2. They're at the top of the conference. Then Austin Peay, who I don't think a lot of people expect a whole lot out of. They're 11-5. And then Tennessee State, after that 7-game winning streak, 10-6. Jacksonville has fallen all the way to 5th place. And there you guys sit at 8-8. You have 14 victories with 2 games left. Who would have thought we'd be sitting here talking a year after Antonius Cleveland graduates and eventually, matriculates his way to the National Basketball Association, that we'd be sitting here saying you have a chance to win more games this year with 4 guys on the roster who've played Division I ball. You've got 8 total guys that you are even available to put in a game, and one of them who sees significant playing time is not a scholarship player in Donnie Lewis. Who thought we'd be sitting here with 2 games left saying you could best your win total from last year?
Yeah, I tell you what, I knew it was going to be a struggle for us because we lost so much. There's no one in the OVC that can say that they lost an NBA player.
Nope.
We lost an NBA player in Antonius Cleveland. And not only did we lose him, we lost so much experience with the guys that were on our team. You talk about Jamal Calvin and Trey Kellum and some of the starters we lost, and then we lost Taj Edie to transfer and Jalen Ben. So we had a lot of turnover. And then you talk about the guys that were returning. If you look at it, there was really only one guy that you can sit there and point to of those 4 returning guys that like, hey, I know that he's going to be a solid contributor. Now, Denzel Mahoney makes a world of difference on anybody's team. But you look at the other 3 guys that were coming back into the program that had played Division I college basketball, no one would point to them and say, like, hey, I know that guy's going to be a solid starter. Jonathan Dalton, to me, has been the key to our team. That point guard position is so integral in what you're trying to do, not just on the court, but off the court, mentality-wise. And the way that he has grown and made strides in a short amount of time is just really a tribute to the off-season work that he put in. So, he's really made a huge difference in our program. Then Daniel Simmons, the way he's progressed as a basketball player, he's averaging 13 points a game here in conference play now. He's like a Tasmanian devil. I mean, there's a lot of things twirling and whirling around him, and you don't know what the end result's going to be. But he's active, and he can go out and really do some things. And then Milos Vranis was a role player for us and really struggled. He went through a stretch here where I told him he was just frankly a bad basketball player. And so, like I said, you don't want to end your senior season going out this way, playing the way that you're playing. And some of these guys start to focus in on things beyond basketball, beyond Southeast Missouri State. And so all these guys want to play professional basketball, and he was going out there trying to do things to prove that he can play basketball professionally. You don't need to worry about that right now. You need to worry about like trying to be on the court and help SEMO. That'll help you more than anything. So we had a lot of returning guys that really you say like, hey, are those guys that are going to be rock solid foundation guys for you besides Denzel Mahoney? Just getting these guys to understand who they are, buy into the team, and then get these young guys to come in and play right away and help us. Justin Carpenter, Ladarius Brewer, we needed those guys to come in and be major contributors for us right away. They didn't have that transition. We couldn't say, hey, they're freshmen and things like that. I always say, you're on scholarship. It doesn't matter if you got 1 year of experience, no years of experience. You're on scholarship. We expect for you to come in and help us.
I have not seen, have they announced OVC Freshman of the Week yet? There should be an investigation if it wasn't Ladarius Brewer, who pumped in 34 points against Eastern Illinois. It's too bad that he's just a timid freshman, coach, and you're kind of still waiting for him to blossom, right?
Yeah, well, he's like Daniel, where he doesn't lack in confidence. I mean, it must be something about those Mississippi guys where they